All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to. I almost caught it that when I was not muting my Twitch channel. Welcome back to Border Kingdoms Adventures, where I have been doing this for almost 2 years, and I still don't know how this thing works. So tonight is one of our Tal'Dorei nights. And it is the last Tal'Dorei night before we take about a 2 to 2.5 week hiatus, not for the holidays, but for Zombie Joe's vacation. So this is going to be our last Tal'Dorei stream for a little bit until New Year's Eve, in fact. So appreciate it while you have it. Let's see, because this is Border Kingdoms Adventures. Tonight is officially brought to you by Liquid Death. Because, hey, you could sponsor us at some point. Because I'm not trying to sue you like, a certain somebody that's inferred on this can. So, I am not having what it says on this can. I am having the new name for this tea, which is the Dead Billionaire. So, a little bit of, yes, it's true. Apparently, Armless Palmer was a suable offense. Go figure. No, nobody sued over the Arnold Palmer, but they sued over this. Go figure. Ah, tastes like dead billionaires. Yeah, if that isn't Eat the Rich along with Death to Plastic, I don't know what is. All right. So, with that, we are. Let's just dive right into it because we've been sitting here chatting before the show opened up and doing all sorts of administrative type stuff. Talking about me raiding with Haley's husband over Pokemon Go today, that kind of thing. So we'll just jump right into it. The group, the soon to be named, still has not been named group. Don't feel too bad. The Tal'Dorei North named themselves the Dungeon Dogs. So
I thought
uh,
we had some names that popped up in the last 2 weeks.
there has been some discussion, but nobody has said we should name the group this, and everybody went, "Yeah."
I
Uh,
posted something, but I got radio silence, so I assumed that it was a bad post.
I mean, who would have thought that you would have come up with a food-related name for the group? I mean,
I
the,
thought we were the crampons.
That's our healing word.
Oh, okay.
you can call yourself the Crampons for all you as much as you want. I would highly suggest against it as yeah, no. But it's up to you. Y'all have never really gone the direction I've figured you would. So
We may have told the dragon, well, I may have told her, B may have told the dragon that, who are we? And I just said, crampons. She was so scared of the dragon, she couldn't say anything else.
yeah, I didn't even make you make a wisdom save if I remember correctly.
You did not. You did not. It's just like, crampons?
Nope. All right. With that, though, you have made your way across the plains in between Stilben and Drenna. Went to talk to the Goblin settlement, where your buddy there has set you up with a scout to lead you, who is going to lead you up the mountain to Zephyra, because you wanted to go look into this rainbow wind that has come flowing down the side of the mountain and smacked you all with varying effects. That also gives the goblin encampment time to come up with some folks to come aid you in addressing the lake adjacent to Drenna, because there is the Moon Maiden, the Lady of the Lake, or that effing hag, if you ask Auntie Mela. Was that her name? Yes,
Mela.
Auntie Mela. See, I knew it was. I knew it wasn't or God, what's the one in Baldur's Gate? Jeez, I've forgotten her name already. Anyways, uh, oh, it wasn't quite as blatant as Astarion.
Auntie Ethel.
Auntie Ethel, yeah. It wasn't quite as blatant as Astarion. Like, oh, that's a fucking vampire. No, but it was like, oh, she's a kindly old grandma lady who makes potions and stuff and lives in the forest. Yeah, that's totally not a hag. I'm like, as soon as that little interaction happened, I'm like, nailed it, called it. Anyway, so Auntie Mela has petitioned you to get her ancestral home back from this hag in the lake, and so yeah, your next step is to go take care of the hag, but you want to do a little kind of a couple of not direct assaults on the islands, but you want to go out there with an expedition. And so you're looking for allies. And so the goblins are going to attempt to come up with some allies for you that are willing to go. And as the city has starting to become legitimate, those that have got the adventuring bug no longer are going to be doing banditry, but are going to look at legitimate adventuring. So you might have some aid in staffing the ship, or potentially helping out with any nastiness that might occur. So, with that, your man, I don't know if I wrote down the name of your guide. Hold on a minute.
Our guide name?
Yeah, I'm sure I wrote it down. I just don't know if I still have that paper.
Aemon? Aemon?
Aethor. Eathor.
Aethor. Sure, that sounds right. All right. So Aethor has led you
And we've
to.
been eating goblins.
You have not been seeing much in the way of goblins. The closer
I
that
thought
you
they were in the camp.
they're in the camp. You all are up on the mountaintop now. You are
Oh.
Aethor's our guide, and we were attacked by gnolls
you were attacked by
And
gnolls
hyenas.
and hyenas,
and hyenas. So
and
yeah.
you got away from them, spent the
We
night.
got 4 bad spears, 4 bad longbows, 2 good hunting knives, and 2 good short swords.
So, but you got arrested. B had a little bit of a weird dream. And when you get up, you are approaching a kind of crested ridge where, when you get up, as opposed to having a full mountain peak, there's a section of the mountain before the abrupt peak that is kind of leveled out, kind of almost mesa-like, but it's just a ledge that goes up to another cliff face that goes straighter up to the peak itself. And above the city of Zephyra, at the top of the actual peak, is where, when you go up there, you can see what looks to be like a churning mass of clouds. Wind is just pelting out from it. It does seem to skirt around Zephyra itself, but it produces just the loudest sound the closer that you get. And as you get to the edge of Zephyra itself, it's almost as if something is pushing against you as you go to enter. And once you kind of, it's not like a, oh, I've hit a wall of force, or you suddenly all become mimes or something like that. It's just, you kind of feel that resistance as you get to it, and you push a little bit, you walk with a little bit more purpose, and you cross through it. And as soon as you cross through it, it just becomes calm. There's no heavy winds. You can still see the trees and whatnot kind of flapping and flowing in the breeze, but they're the ones that are outside of the city limits. Um, Stepping in, uh, you'll notice that there were people watching you the closer that you got. Um, Up on the ridges, standing on tops of buildings, um, and some are even riding the winds that are just buffeting around the city. You look up and you see some of them are strapped to these contraptions that kind of look like early flight types of machines. They're wings that are made of. It almost looks like something you see on Gilligan's Island. They've got wood frames with leather wings, and they use them to glide on the air. And sure enough, you see a couple of them gliding along, keeping tabs on what's going on around the city. And you see a druid standing there, a young druid. Um, they're maybe in their teens, uh, but they've got what looks to be like almost like a clipboard, but it's made out of some type of shell and bone, and they come kind of skipping up to you as you come through. Oh, visitors! We do so love visitors, but some of us love visitors. Some of us are on guard duty and are instantly concerned about visitors. So, who might I say and mark down you all are? And they
Are we
pull.
unmuted? Have you unmuted us?
I have unmuted you. Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Um, let's see. So we don't have a group name yet, but we do have a basket. So I am going to present the basket and say, I believe that we have a gift for you. I am Arabella Nightshade.
She says, "For me, I'm just the record keeper.
Oh,
Do you know me?
please take us through your leader.
Oh, you want to speak with Keyleth. Oh, well, that does make sense. And who might I say is wanting to speak with the wind speaker?
Oh, I'm Arabella Nightshade, and these are my companions.
What is your name, my dear?
How dare you ask me to say my name as an NPC? Her name is Quanta. She says, "I know it's a family name. Trust me. Nobody asks to have a name like that." Uh, she
It
said,
is quite lovely.
"Yeah,
And so are you.
I thank you. I do
What,
appreciate
what
that."
was that? I didn't quite hear that one.
Her name is Quanta.
Quanta.
Correct.
Okay. And the person we're supposed to talk to is the wind.
Wind speaker,
Wind
also known as Keyleth. Or
What is
Marisha if
what
you're
is-
nasty.
what
As-
is her
as-
name?
As B is not very good with the words, she's just gonna hide behind.
Keyleth is spelled Keyleth, I believe.
Thank you.
If not, go to criticalrole.com and they'll tell you. All right. I can already see that I've got a crop here, so I'm going to deal with that because it's bugging me. So, she does tell you that
Where would we find a wind speaker in your city?
well, she's
Since
You-
we've never been
usually up towards the peak, but you should go to the Erie. It makes it sound like it's a nest. It's literally our one public tavern in the city. You want to go to the Erie? It's just over there, and she points out to you the direction to go, and you can see that in addition to being a tavern, like a traditional tavern. Most of the buildings you see in here are just regular wooden or stone buildings, but with the Erie, in addition to having out the placard type thing hanging out, the shingle hanging out with the name the Erie on it, there up on top, it's kind of got ledges on the roofs, almost like multiple tiered gables. And on some of them, you see that there are nests where griffins are kind of mounted. And looks like it started off as tongue in cheek, and it's kind of become kind of like what's that? Al Johnson's up in Door County, where you just see the goats up on the roof eating the grass. It's kind of like that. So she says somebody shall come to she'll come to get you there if once they've established that you can speak with her and when and where that might be. So if you feel free, or if you've got anything else, any other sort of business that you've got here in town, we would be happy to point you in the correct direction. I can even assign a guide for you if you so wish.
He will hand her a piece of candy and say thank you.
Ooh, what is this?
This is ribbon candy from Drinna. They have really great candy maker down there.
She takes a bite of it, and it looks as if this teenager girl has never had candy before, and she's enjoying the experience entirely.
Yes, we are strangers with candy, and that is okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh my.
Hashtag don't do this at home.
Hashtag taking candy from strangers.
Yep.
Like some
That's
kids
a
in the
bad
hall.
group name.
I mean, Keyleth might be wise, but
I appreciate
not
those
exactly going to
reference.
teach people how about stranger danger. So, she looks as she's pointing out the direction. You also you get a feel from her. She's a young adult. She just looks like she's a child or a teenager. Um, and you note that that probably the reasoning for it is the slight point to her ears. She's clearly got elven blood, but is not a full elf. So, um, so after that, she kind of leaves you to your devices unless you have any sorts of needs that she can help meet for you.
Should we go to the pub?
Makes the most sense.
All right. So, well, since you're in the pub, or at least in town, let's switch this up a little bit. We'll give you some different noises. There it is. Where? Oh, there it is, and then it disappeared. All right. You step into the Erie, and when you do, you find yourself in what looks to be like a standard pub that you might find in any city of decent size. Few people are in here enjoying a meal or just getting in out of the open air, and wide variety of people. And the more that you spend time here, the more that you get that while the baseline for this particular town might be human, elven, and half elven. Um, Air Ashari as a tribe are not a tribe based on genealogy. They're a tribe based on their following of the natural ways. So for the Arashari, um, they are ones that teach the ways of being one with the element of air, living on mountains, gliders, kites, things like that.
That's cool.
Mostly druids and rangers, but
I'm
there
a
are some,
ranger.
but there are some that are, there's some mixture, but it's a sprinkling of classes other than those two in particular. So, and especially for the speakers, in almost all cases, those are druids. Um, Definitely is the case with their wind speaker, which is Keyleth is a renowned druid from the adventuring group of Vox Machina. So, um, but she is a retired member, as are most of them. So,
He would like to do a history check to see if she knows anything about Vox Machina or any of this history at all.
you can certainly try. Go ahead.
And is anybody playing any music in the tavern?
B doesn't know her own name. Um, there is one person that is strumming along on a lute. Um, it is a halfling. Um, he definitely does not look like the rest of the Arashari. Could be a visitor, could be a friend of the community, kind of a thing. But he looks very bard-like.
Okay.
He's dressed in a kind of fancier costume and has is playing a decent tune on his lute.
Can I amble up as I make my history check to see if I know more than my name and B's name?
Sure. 23
He has
months.
candy. He has
Look at
candy.
that.
She's fine.
Yeah. Stepping up, you do know that Zephyra is one of four home bases of the Ashari, and each one is based around a particular element. Um, where those other three are, you have no idea. But you do know that you've heard the stories of Vox Machina and um, the various heroic things that they've done. The two most notable that you've heard of them uh, dismantling uh, the Cinder King's empire, uh, the this conglomerate of dragons that somehow decided to join forces and try and take over the world, as well as they stopped the ascension of a lich known as Vecna from attaining godhood within the prime material plane.
Which
Uh,
is very good.
you don't know if they. You've heard that Vecna is a god of undeath, but at the same time, if a god of undeath was on this plane, y'all would know about it. He seems to have ascended. They were not able to prevent his ascension, but they were able to lock him behind the divine gate. And
How long ago was this?
I want to say it was 30, 20 or 30 years, 25 to 30 years.
Okay.
And might the bard who's playing be a bard that was in Vox Machina?
No, he is not. But you get the feeling he's short, but he's got the look of more of a halfling than a gnome. You do know that the bard that was a member of Vox Machina was a gnome, and quite a bawdy one at that, from the reputation. This appears to be a halfling gentleman. Um, he is dressed very appropriately in some nice silk clothes,
Okay.
and as opposed to being on a stage and just strumming out a tune of toss a coin to your witcher or whatever, he is kind of sitting at the hearth, just playing a slow instrumental tune, almost like background music for the afternoon uh, uh, patrons of this inn.
I'd really like a coffee. I haven't been sleeping well at all.
I was going to say, what time of day is this? I mean, have
you're
you
in
been
a
traveling a bit?
you're in about afternoonish. It's hard to say. You might be around lunchtime. There
Okay, so
are in fact some
we're
people
probably
eating
hungry.
lunch. Yes. Yeah. You are not.
Yeah.
You're all like, oh, I could eat. Yeah. Um.
I'm
Coffee.
sure B made us all a great breakfast before we left.
Oh yeah. Tea and coffee can be obtained for sure though.
Excellent. I would like to go. Is there a like a bar, or is it more customary at this time of day to sit at a table?
Your choice. There is a bar. There is a bar uh, open, and there's our seats at the bar. But there are plenty of tables that are open as well.
I will go up to the bar and climb up onto the bar stool, and it's probably too tall, so it's just like my ears that the bartender can see. Um,
Surprisingly, the stools are they've got so they are full bar stools, but they've almost got rungs on them like a ladder, so that
okay,
Everything is
halflings
ADA
know it.
compliant here.
Exactly.
excellent.
You don't exactly need a booster seat, although you are just kind of like right up to the bar, but yeah, it's enough so that they can see you.
Excellent. E- e- Excuse me.
Yes,
Um, I I would love to order a coffee.
of course. It'll just take me a moment. We'll have to make it fresh, but it'll be worth it. Trust me. And the person that's staffing the bar kind of goes behind into the kitchen area, and you just kind of hear a little bit of like some cabinets opening and closing and whatnot. There is a serving person that is going through the hall as well. He is. It looks like he is cleaning off dishes and taking orders at the same time. So,
I see. I
hmm,
can join the halfling in their instrumental piece, taking my loot off my back.
certainly.
Yeah, let's start this party.
B will go sit at the bar next to our bunny friend and just kind of, she'll order a tea as well. So just gonna sit there too.
All
I
right.
will keep my eye out for Caliph, the wind speaker.
All right.
Stacy's gonna look around for a menu.
No problem. The serving person, he'll see you kind of looking for a menu, and he'll stop by with a it looks like it's a chalkboard. It's just like a handheld chalkboard.
A handheld
Today's
chalkboard?
specials.
Wow.
Today's specials food. Um,
Griffin eggs.
Griffin eggs.
Is there chalk where we could like doodle on it while
Just
we
hand
wait?
her a
What is
placemat
on
to
the
draw on with
chalkboard?
crayons.
She's looking for an Applebee's. Oh my god. Can we get crayons in a coloring book? I want to do the puzzle.
What
I
does
Uh,
the chalkboard
mean,
say?
the puzzle is fun.
the chalkboard lists wine, various vintages, and it's listed as a silver for a glass, a gold for a bottle,
I'm gonna buy a bottle of wine.
and
Something sweet. and white.
All right. Ale is listed at being a silver per pint, and the luncheon special is apparently you've got two options. You've got a mutton stew and a vegetable soup. Both are served with bread.
Mm. I'm gonna have vegetable soup. I love vegetable
B will
soup.
spend 5 silvers for lunch and tea.
Okay. Coffee and tea is by request and runs about the same silver piece.
How
As
much
it
was
would
the vegetable soup again?
vegetable soup, I believe the meals were about 3 silver each.
I like legit want vegetable soup now in real life.
You're welcome.
It sounds really good. It's definitely a
so
soup day today.
Stacy's
Yeah.
got her vegetable soup and a bottle of white wine.
Oh,
All right.
So yeah, B has soup, bread, and tea, and duck that from her inventory.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? 3 silvers you said?
3 silver for the meal. 1 silver for a tea.
Okay.
And they'll bring you out extra heated water if you want to re-steep your tea. You can, he tells you, you can get at least 2 steepings out of that sachet of tea. So he says, if you want some more hot water, just let me know.
And
So
as B takes, some of her makes her extra, she says, the wind speaker. How would we make? Do we make an appointment or?
oh, they usually if you check in with with our scribe, she'll usually send somebody up to tell the wind speaker that there's somebody looking to speak with her, and she'll either her or one of her agents will come by and let you know. So I'm assuming she told you to come here because that's what she tells everybody.
And you wouldn't happen to know any ravens? I mean,
Ravens? Well, have you not heard the stories? Oh, well,
there's a raven who said something about their beloved, and I was, your boyfriend.
he he goes and I'll be right back. And goes and kind of says something to the bartender, and then comes over and takes a seat and says, "Okay, so you look like some nice enough folk. I figure you should probably have some warning before you meet with the wind speaker. Yes,
Would be appreciated.
the tales are parts of the annals of history around here. You see, back in her days when she was taking on her Aramente, the wind speaker found herself in a relationship with one of the members of her adventuring team, Vex. And he was a minion of the Raven Queen. So, as a minion to the Raven Queen, his duty to her came due at the end of their adventures, and he was brought to her side. It's not as nice as it sounds, as she is the goddess of death. And so,
Those watching can just see B's tail getting poofier and poofier as the story goes on.
so he died. But it is hinted to the fact that it is because of this that the raven has become a particularly special animal for Keyleth. And so she's usually never without one nearby or likely perched on her shoulder.
B
And
does have, or did collect some of the raven feathers from the sarcophagus.
you did. You did. So he tells you it has been nearly 2 decades since he passed, and she still can be seen looking out over the horizon, half expecting to see his wings out in full bloom, soaring towards the mountainside. So,
Well, thank you
Very
for
sad.
that. Yeah, B wasn't even born when this happened. He's been dead longer than she's been alive.
yep.
Yeah.
Um, he did not notice the dagger that you've got. So
I, I would say B would like to, or at least kind of, keep that hidden, or put a piece of her cloak over it so it's not
you've got it
fantastically
in the
obvious.
scabbard, and yeah, it's not instantly obvious, but somebody would actually have to look to see it.
Yeah.
But so
That's probably.
you're not concealed carrying it, but you are
No,
you
no,
are
but I'm not making it obvious either.
exactly.
Especially now that I know the story, and it's like, and then he said something about the Raven Queen and dying, and yeah, B's tail is quite poofy at the moment.
Yes, you've got enough information that if you want to find out more about it, that's something that you can look up once you're back into a
Yeah,
town with
Mavis was going to help me when we got back
more.
to Stilben,
Yeah.
look up the Raven Queen and such.
Yep. But
It
you
is the thing.
also know that the Wind Speaker has got some definite history with the Raven Queen, so that's potentially another resource, although it might be a difficult conversation.
Yeah, I was going to say this doesn't
That
sound like
sounds
something she's
awkward.
want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Both
She
Raven
might-
never.
she might very much want to talk about it.
You never
She
know.
might. She also might be really angry.
Because if everybody's scared to talk to her about it, then she doesn't have an outlet to talk about it at all.
Oh, so true. Oh, so true.
Processing and closure's important.
Yeah. So,
So, do we does the party do we need to tip the scribe to let her know just that we're
oh
here?
no, she knows you're here. She sent you here, and I'm assuming you spoke with her. Well, she looks really
Oh,
young, but
yes,
she actually isn't.
Okay.
We have not made an appointment or haven't. I think we did mention that we wanted to speak.
You mentioned that if she sent you here, you mentioned that she wanted to speak with the Wind Speaker, and so she's probably sent somebody to go put in your request, and they will reach out to you here. And as
Is
he's
this
getting
also-
up, Mhm.
Is this also an inn? Can we?
It is.
Okay.
It is. He tells you enjoy your meal, speak with the Wind Speaker, and then once you're done speaking with her, if you find yourself in need or want of a room, we'll discuss that with you at that time. We do have rooms available. So, and as he's getting up and heading in towards the kitchen to put in some more orders, um, a human, kind of a gangly looking human, in their probably mid-20s, comes walking in. They're dressed in what looks to be like leathers with various totems hanging off of them, and this weird looking antlered headdress. And they look around.
I finally spotted her. It's over there. Over there.
That is not Keyleth. It's first off, it's a human. Second off, it's a male.
Oh.
And Beal just lean up and go, I think that's a guy.
I think that's a dude.
Dude.
And he notices your group and comes kind of striding over and says, "I believe you are the adventurers that showed up at our stoop, looking to speak with the Wind Speaker. Is that correct?"
Is Mavis still playing with the bard, or can B go hide behind her?
I'm still playing with the bard.
Yep. Go ahead and give me a performance check, by the way, there, Mavis.
Okay.
B very much likes
No.
having someone 2 feet taller than her to hide behind.
I'm going to take a sip of my
Nah.
armless palm, or my dead billionaire here.
Woo! Yeah.
Adequate, but nothing spectacular. I don't want to show up the halfling.
It's adequate. You only kind of flub a key once, so nothing too bad. But
Be supportive and see what I can get info-wise from the halfling.
all right, go ahead and give me a persuasion check. I feel like I'm doing ASMR here. I need you to give me a persuasion check. Well, that's pretty persuasive. Clearly, you're more of an orator than you are an
Well, I
instrumentalist.
didn't want to show up the
Exactly.
current bard in town. I wanted to be supportive,
So
but I wanted to flow.
this young halfling is here as almost part of a yeah, the English language is freaking escaping me
Is he
tonight.
in an adventuring party?
He's not a part of an adventuring party. He is actually what is it that's called that doctors do after they get out of medical school? Residency.
Residency.
There we go. Jesus. Like I said, the English language out the brain. Too much Pokemon Go this morning. He is doing what basically part of a residency to improve his craft and to learn more about the world. You do find out that he is not originally from the Lucidian coast. That he traveled here as part of a caravan from his school that is located in Iman. Iman is on kind of the far west coast of Tal'Dorei, where you're on kind of the southeast coast of Tal'Dorei. So quite a distance away. And he did not travel here by any fast travel means. He just didn't hit M on the keyboard and just choose a spot. You know, he he did the whole overland route to get here. So he's got plenty of stories to tell, and he says it has been quite a learning experience here, living amongst the Ashari. They're quite a diverse group of people for a strong knit community. But
How long have you been here, my friend? And what is your name? My name is Mavis.
it is a pleasure to meet you, Mavis. There are very few that come in here and want to play music together. So, my name is Hector. You can find me here, but I am, as I said, I come from a college in Amman, and I've been here for it's been at least 2 or 3 months now. I've got I believe years paid residency here. After which point I can negotiate with the owner to continue it on, or I can move on to seek out my life in the wider world. I don't know. It's tough to say. I have to say, right now, I do actually like it here.
Well, it is quite nice.
It is.
We can have all sorts of musical fun because probably like you, I'm well versed in many different instruments.
I've taken a number of different wind instruments, and but I figured that was just low hanging fruit. Being my residency was in Zephyra, so I decided to go with something of the stringed variety. So and I've always had a liking for the lute. And you can tell that he's very good at playing the lute.
Okay. So does he have a flute, and what else does he have
He
hanging or nearby?
he does not have much nearby. There is on the on near the hearth. There's a kind of a cabinet that's got a flute and a harp there,
Okay.
and it looks like there might be like a small set of hand drums.
Well, he sees on me a set of bagpipes,
That makes
uh,
everybody uncomfortable.
a larger drum, probably a drum the size of him, along with the flute to go with the lute.
Multi-talented. My instructors always tried to instill that in us. Multi-talented. If you can only play one instrument, well then
Okay.
you can be easily replaced. But if you can play all of the instruments, well,
And sing or orate, my friend.
oh so true. Well, that just goes without saying.
I say no more.
And there's a number of puns about speaking that continue on from there.
I believe you and I will become fast friends.
Well, I've that is part of the job here is to make friends with all of the folk, especially the ones that come in to visit and find out their stories. I've already found out the stories of most of the people that are in here, although a few keep some well-guarded secrets.
He will lean over to Arabella and say, "Are they flirting? Is that flirting?"
Oh yeah, that's
The
definitely
The
flirting.
size difference between these two is sort of huge.
You know,
You know-
that is not a deterrent.
Because
We all saw the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Michelle Rodriguez
Different.
with the halfling Bradley Cooper. I'm just saying.
Mavis is 7'4".
Yeah, well, the one that he left her for was even bigger than Michelle Rodriguez.
Well, that's true.
She was
Size doesn't
over
matter.
6. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true. It's the skill.
All right, so welcome to oh my God, are we really having this discussion Sundays here on on Border Kingdoms
Thirsty
Adventures?
Sundays. We're in a bar. We're gonna be thirsty.
Thirsty
It's
Sundays.
just how it goes.
The bard found another bard and
In a bar.
In a
in a
bar.
bar.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, they're
That
trying
you'd
to
find
find
a
a
bard
dragon
in a
to go
bar.
tag team. Yeah, exactly. Wait, you already found the dragon. Never mind.
Yeah, the dragon liked us.
I made the dragon smile.
Yes, you did.
You did. You did. All right. So, fell down. Oh, it's Ginger's D20. There it is.
So we're just going to get this guy's ye old digits or some sort of sending stone before we go.
Well, she knows where he is, where his residency is for at least the next 10 months. 9
Old
months.
school, got it.
So, and knowing his name and location is pretty much all she needs. Once you get the proper spells. Sending is what level is that? 4 or 5? I don't know.
I don't know. I will look.
I think it's a level 3.
Level 3.
Level 5. Well, it's you have to be level 5.
You have to be
You have to be
level
level
5.
5, but it's a level 3 spell.
Oh, see, you're almost there.
Yep.
Just let me level up, dude, and I will send you all the time.
I will set you up.
Wow. Wow, there's a lot to unpack there.
We're never gonna level now. He's never gonna let you have that.
We're going to be at 4th level for the whole campaign.
You better believe it.
He's gonna re-steep her tea and just do the gif where she's just like sipping her tea, watching.
Popcorn. So
Aggressively bardsexual.
I'm glad I'm not looking at Discord. Yep, just so glad. So glad. I don't
So
even want to know.
as Mavis is playing, her outfit gets a little more fancy. Things become a little more clean, and there's a fresh smell of, meadow flowers.
Okay.
Ooh, I'll boost it. I'll cast thaumaturgy.
Well, I'm
And
doing prestidigitation. I'll
okay,
take extra help.
yeah, I'll do thaumaturgy and give you whatever affects you're looking for, like little butterflies flying around your head,
Oh, that's nice.
and instrument.
Nice.
Very Little Mermaid meets the girl, kiss the girl situation.
Okay. I am 100% not going to do any singing in a Caribbean accent because that is going to get me in trouble.
They are making
yeah.
beautiful music together, Joe.
Let us wingman, please.
Above the sea. Above the sea.
You can
way above the sea, because we're in the mountains. Above
You
the
can be
sea.
the seagull.
let's be 100% honest. Let's call it what it is. You're wing womaning. I don't know if there's
wing buddying.
Wing buddying?
Right.
Okay. Wing buddying. So
Wing bunny, and I guess I would be wing kitty.
Oh god. No. Just no. Alright, anyways. So
We're all doing the chin hands
smile.
thing,
We
just
can't-
watching them.
What more do we need?
you've got crap. I'm minimizing Discord. I made the mistake of turning it on.
We flustered the DM.
So, as you all are attempting to make the most ridiculous hookup ever, since Scanlan had any hookup, and you see this sage of some sort come in, and he kind of beelines for the table, and says, "Here, that your group of adventurers was looking to speak with the wind speaker Keyleth. I've come to take care of this appointment."
A few minutes.
Of course.
Our orator seems to be busy, and she just
Yes.
points to the.
Arabella just takes her finger and like puts it on his mouth and is like,
Magic is happening. Shh.
Your finger is so cold. That is unnerving.
Stacy has
Yes.
just been sitting here drinking her bottle of wine out of a fancy glass,
Eating your
one
soup.
small glass at a time.
She's drinking out of
pour-
a cordial glass.
Pouring a
Yes.
little shot glass full of it for Tank.
Yeah, Hank's got like a little shot glass of wine.
Yeah. All right.
And Stacy's got like a little glass like this big, and she's like,
He's like, when the song is over.
Pinky's up because I'm not a monster.
she's just gonna like get a second glass and like pour some and shove it over to B, who can
B will
ignore
actually
if she
take,
wants
just kind
to.
of give her a little clink it, and it's like, okay.
Hair of the dog that bit you. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm
So
sorry.
B has learned her lesson. One. She can have one.
It's a very
This is
small
wine,
glass.
not beer.
It's like a shot glass full of white wine.
And it's not hard spirits, so it's like this will be fine. This will be fine.
She takes one sip and goes, "Oh, that was good. Tequila!"
Shots.
Shot.
Shut.
So sooner or later, the bards finish.
Yep.
Right in front of God and everybody.
Hey-oh. Well, I didn't know it was that kind of role-playing game, but okay.
You knew what this was, Joe. You knew what this was.
Of course, Lindsay's in the party.
I wasn't involved. I was only watching.
You
Yeah.
know, sometimes that's
You just
that's all
did
need.
this to the guy that was coming to talk to you.
We just like to watch.
Nope.
He was
I'm
he was
that, that
going to
that's a
be
trap. Nope.
doing interrupted. No Bardic interruptus.
And he's stepping right into it. See?
No premature barding.
Yes.
All right.
All
So
right, sir. We are ready now.
Okay, I
Uh,
removed
To all
my
the bards sometimes.
that was cold.
Now they're
Tasted
finished.
like pennies. That was weird. All right. So the wind speaker apparently was expecting you.
Oh,
She
Like
is
expecting, or just expecting right now because we're here, or knew we were coming, expecting, or
Yes.
I believe the knew you were coming.
these tails getting poofy again.
So, if you are prepared, she's bid me to escort you up to speak with her.
Are we
Did we get this
prepared?
guy's name? Did he say his name?
He
Oh,
did
yeah.
not, but his name is Orin.
It sounds orny.
or an AN or
See,
EN.
Ian.
Oh crap! I didn't even get the right vowel.
Orin. Orin.
Okay. I tell Hector that I will see him again soon, and to have a wonderful afternoon.
We all give
Hector
him like leers and
cannot
thumbs
wait
up
for
as
it.
we file past.
He is an official graduate from Bard School. He takes it in stride, and gives at least one or two of you a wink as you do so. So
Tank will wink back at him.
that
I
shook
wanna-
him. That shook him a little.
Let's see if Mavis noticed. No.
Not at all. So Orin takes you across town, and as he's walking you up to the cliff face. It's kind of almost a semicircle at the end of town that leads up the cliff face to where this kind of tempest is hanging out. But as you get closer to the cliff face, you'll notice that there are paths that lead up the side of it. It is still very steep. It's like walking up the side of Chichen Itza. No OSHA has never seen that place. But so it's got like a thin ramp or stairs or packed rocks that are about one person wide, not even a full 5-foot square.
You're not allowed to do that anymore.
And
Do we need to put on our crampons?
you might need to
Yes.
put on your crampons. But he starts leading you up a path that's leading to the western edge of this peak, and it kind of doubles back on itself and works its way up, and it's a little bit of a hike. It takes you a good probably 20-30 minutes to get up there.
Walking single file to hide our numbers.
Walking single file so you don't fucking fall. But yes, to hide your numbers. As you get up towards the edge of it, it looks like there's some where the path continues to lead up. There's offshoots that go off at certain intervals, and on one of these offshoots, he takes you off, and there's an overlook that's on the edge of the peak that this leads out to, and standing on this overlook, you see a rather unimposing looking half-elven woman with deep red hair, She is dressed in a cloak that looks like it is made out of leaves of varying fall style colors. But on kind of the shoulders of it, there's almost like a mantle that goes across it that looks like it is made out of bird feathers. And she turns around, leaning on a staff, a gnarled staff with a what looks to be like almost a flame that's on the top of it. And as you look closer, it's just a glowing crystal or stone. And perched on one of her shoulders is a rather significantly sized raven. And she turns around, looks at you, and says, I've been expecting you. The winds have been whispering to me for a while now about you all. Over.
Were they rainbow?
Rainbows? Well, there's no shortage of rainbows here in Zephyra, but no, they were just the part of it's part of being the wind speaker. So, yes and no. And really, I'm guessing that it was probably more of the spirits behind the winds that were doing the whispering.
Ooh, the spirits behind the winds.
So,
not leprechauns.
She looks at each one of you. And
Bee hides behind Mavis.
Walks up to each one of you in turn and introduces herself to you. And so she starts off with Arabella, since you're the talkative one right now, and she says, "You're clearly Arabella. The winds
Yes.
have had quite a bit to say about you.
All good things, right?
I am Keyleth. It is a pleasure to meet you."
Nice to meet you too. We made you this gift basket.
Oh, well, thank you. And she takes the baskets. And she's looking at the basket as she steps over and walks up to Stacy and says, "Well, there's no mistaking, Stacy. The winds have spoken much about your maul and your tank." And she reaches down and gives Tank a little scratch behind the ears. "Well, aren't you just the most vicious little companion?" And she
Tank says,
"Oh, and a talkative one too." And she starts to have a conversation with Tank, and Tank is responding. Tank is a beast, right? He's not like something weird or funky, right?
He's a familiar.
He's a familiar, but he's still a beast.
So he's a fey creature in the shape of a chihuahua.
Oh yeah, she can still talk to him. So yeah, she's has conversation with him, and he's responding, and it's like she's the only one that took the potion of animal speech in the camp and is talking to the owlbear cub. You're hearing rah, 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 but she's actually having a conversation with them. Not a long one.
Or, oh no, he is a fiend.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well,
I have a note here that I speak Infernal in case Tank ever decides to talk.
well, then it makes it a very spicy conversation.
He's a chihuahua. How could he be anything else but a fiend?
Hey now, does that make Ginger half fiendish?
Yeah.
Oh. Bite your tongue. Anyway. She steps along and comes up to Adelaide. Adelaide, were you half elven or human?
Yes. No, half elf.
She steps up to you and says, "There's no mistaking Adelaide. We who are of partial elven blood do tend to share some specifics about ourselves that we just recognize each other. And I hear you are one efficient huntress, or at the very least, you're on your path to become quite the huntress. Keela, it is a pleasure to meet you.
Say that.
Well, we'll have to discuss that more in depth. And she comes to the pillar that is not B, but Mavis, because B's hiding behind the pillar. And she says,
Mavis smiles.
"Of course, I hear you've already made an impact in Zephyra. I would expect no less. I've known a bard or two in my time. So,
That I have heard.
just behave yourself, please. As much as you can. Don't get too out of line. It's been a while since Scanlan is going to be allowed back in, and only if Pike is accompanying him. But I've heard the most whispers about the one behind you, who clearly must be
hide.
B.
Bonus action hide.
Bonus action, there's no place to hide on this, on this ledge.
There's a big prologue. She has a robe. Bonus action hide.
She's like a level 20
behind me, an otter comes up and rests on my shoulder. You mean the otter?
No, I don't mean the otter. But this is a cute trick. Cute trick.
Yes, the tiny 5'2" tabaxi will
So, B,
attempt to
come out. Introduce ourselves properly.
B will do this, kind of, you know how kittens do with the ears, the ears, like tiny little tail is like.
Are you going to do the Puss in Boots, take off your hat and you look
the big eyes?
totally sympathetic?
So she'll kind of reach into her pouch and pull out a raven feather. They're one of the raven feathers she took from the sarcophagus, and offer it to Keyleth.
We're getting into this during introductions. Okay.
Yeah, B doesn't even say her name. She just holds out a raven feather.
She takes the feather from you. She looks at it. She kind of looks up to the raven on her shoulder. She takes it up, puts it under her nose, and smells it.
I was told to say that the queen has great hopes for me, and I have the blessing to use this. And she kind of turns to the side and shows Keyleth the dagger. And if you are his beloved, he loves you very much and thinks of you often.
She takes the feather, puts it up by the raven, and the raven kind of, pecks at it without necessarily pecking at it to like break it or anything, but just kind of gets its scent, and it leans in and like puts its beak by her ear, almost like it's speaking to her. And she says, "Well, go ahead." And the raven kind of hops off of her with one hop, without even putting out its wings, hops off of her shoulder and hops onto your shoulder.
He will stand very, very, very still.
Is it actually a raven?
I'm gonna say I'm just gonna stand there.
It is actually a raven. It is a very big raven. But much like Tank isn't just a chihuahua, this raven is probably not just a raven.
Uh-oh.
And so, its beak kind of peers down towards your ear, kind of like it did to hers. And you hear in a clear voice, our queen was right to put her beliefs in you. And it almost holds a weight to it. As soon as this raven whispers into your ear, you can feel the anxiety you had at talking to Keyleth, knowing that you've got the belt of her husband, of her former husband on your belt, or you've got the blade of your former husband on your belt. All that anxiety kind of lifts off, and you can feel light. And the raven kind of takes a short little and goes back over to her shoulder. She says, I don't doubt Vex's feelings, and I don't doubt his choices were the ones that had to be made. And I don't doubt that I will see him again, but not for a while. I'm not as long lived as a full elf, but I've got things to do before I can continue on. The Raven Queen has promised this to me. Just as I'm sure
nice.
she's made promises to you. She says, well, this one, I could, at some point, depending how long on the path of the Raven Queen you go, we may have discussions about the birds and the purposes they serve.
Says she expects great things from me. What does that mean?
You may wind up having to collect the full mantle. The dagger is just the beginning of it.
Queen of Death, right? Death Queen? So I need to kill people?
Not necessarily. You just have to... Do you know what the tenets of the Raven Queen are?
Yeah, B rolled a 2. No.
Not at all. She says...
She looks up at Mavis and says, Mavis is going to help me
Well,
figure it out, but
working on
you
it.
have answers.
I'm sure she will. But I will give you the gist of it. Raven. She is the protector of death. All things that are live must die. This is the rule. This is a rule of all nature. Which puts her at odds with some demons, some fiends, and at least 2 of the betrayer gods. Namely, the Whispered One, whose name we shall not mention. Because if I were to mention it, it would pull more weight than if you did. But I'm sure you've heard the tales of the last adventure of Vox Machina.
Yeah, the bard in the tavern
Yes.
was really great.
So, your tenant is to protect death. Funerary rites, and to ensure that everything that dies stays dead. Nothing comes back.
No zombies.
Zombies are the least of the problems. Earlier in
Worse than
our
zombies?
adventures, Vox Machina faced the Briarwoods, a necromancer, betrothed, married, and obsessed with a vampire lord. It was them that brought the Whispered One into power. or at the very least, it gave him the pathway that he needed to for ascension. It is for this reason that my Vex became minioned to the Raven Queen.
She calls him her champion. He's very nice.
He is. He is very nice. Unless you cross him. And then he's very scary. But he said I'm scarier than he ever was, so. So yes, you will need to, with Mavis's help, learn as much as you can about the Raven Queen. And that should tell you everything you need to know on whether or not you need to wish to become more a part of her plan. I can tell you this. It is a worthwhile and meaningful existence. And it was worth everything that Vex and I lost for him to do that.
Bee will have to ponder this as she's just a tiny kitten. Well, a small tabaxi rogue like this. This seems a very heavy responsibility, so she's probably going to have to do some.
Ponder this on the tree of woe.
Probably going to have to think about whether this dagger was really worth.
I think it's the tree of whoa.
Whoa.
That dagger might be one that once you pick it up, it's hard to give it away.
I mean, it's very shiny. It really is.
It is. So you've got some stuff. You
got some stuff to do.
You've got a direction.
Apparently, God interested in me now and expects great things because that's no pressure.
Nope, no pressure at all. So, she says, well, introductions are done. Come, let's get it.
Daisy.
Daisy?
The little bunny.
Oh, we did forget Daisy. You know why? Daisy's not roll 20. That's why I forgot Daisy. Yes, she introduces herself to Daisy.
Our little bunny, who's the only person smaller than the only person smaller than B in this party is Daisy.
Yeah, I logged in, but that's okay. I'm not.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm logged in.
Let me do this. Oh, there you are. Now you are. I just refreshed roll 20.
But
all right,
that's okay.
Yes, she does.
She doesn't need any attention from Keyleth. She's just watching in awe because
she does. She does introduce herself to Daisy as well. And it seems she has not met many Harengon, so she was interested. She was definitely interested in meeting you. And so she says, "Please, let's get in out of the wind." You notice it's really not windy on this ledge, but you get out 2 feet from where the ledge is, and it's windy as hell. And so she steps over to the edge of the ledge by the wall, and there is a what looks to be almost like a willow tree growing there. And she puts her hand up to the willow tree, and it kind of splits open and forms a doorway. A little bit of a glowing doorway, and she says, I would say after you, especially because I need to be the last to go through, but to quell any potential fears of yours, she looks at Orin. Orin, please. And Orin steps into the doorway. Screams, and a big spray of blood comes. No, I'm just kidding. Walks through. And
Orin, we hardly knew him.
Alas, poor Orin. I knew him, Horatio. In stepping through, you find yourself inside of a well-appointed room. There's comfortable chairs. There's a couple tables. There's kind of a hearth going with a fire, and it appears to be all made of a almost like a blending of stone and wood growing. And uh, she steps in, and the door closes behind her. And what's left where the door closed is a tree, a live tree growing in the middle of this room, and it kind of has branches that go out the window that's next to it.
Hold it. Is the room in the tree or is
Yes. There's
okay?
multiple trees involved here. There's the tree
Okay.
that she used for transportation, and then it's almost like a petrified tree that is the building itself. So it is layers upon layers of natural order. And she says, "Please have a seat, make yourselves comfortable." And she sits down in what looks to be like a rocking chair by the hearth. And
Mavis walks around with her mouth open, taking it all in, amazed, being Fey touched and being from the Fey lands, and now seeing this, her mind is blown.
If there's a hearth, bee is in front of it,
yep,
doing the cat thing.
yep. There's some cushioned ottomans. There's chairs that are near the hearth, and yeah, it is warm without being too warm. She looks at you walking around, Mavis, and says, "It's amazing what one can do when one befriends one of the She Lords. It's
Mavis
good."
just shakes her head in agreement.
They've taught me. They've taught me a number of spells that my father never really knew about. But enough of me. You all have come here for a reason. I'm assuming that it has something to do with this trouble I've heard of around Drina, or is it something else?
I came here looking for maybe a unicorn party, like a party that you have at night where like a lot of unicorns come
Unicorn
together.
party. Not.
I
I.
was
I am a member
wondering-
of Vox Machina. Scanlan talked about a unicorn party all the time, but I doubt that's what you're looking for.
So there's rainbows. Maybe there's like a
The
pot of gold.
winds.
Yeah, there's these rainbow winds, and they called to us, and I tried to call back, but they didn't get the message. I was running
Yeah.
after them with all my might, but they vanished.
They weren't calling to you. I mean, they may have been calling to you, but much like a harpy calls to you, best not to listen. She says, while the winds are part of my element to command, those don't come from any natural place.
Oh, a supernatural rainbow
She
wind.
she says, maybe this will make more sense, and she casts a spell which produces an image in the middle of the room. Almost not dissimilar to a fairy fire. It's just got images dancing in it, and you watch as what you can clearly identify as the peak of Mount Zephra. There is that kind of tempest, that swirling nimbus of clouds and storm going on up there, and it looks like there's a coven of like 6 druids that are up there watching it and tending to it.
Oh,
And as they are keeping watch, you see this nimbus suddenly pulse with eldritch energy, and when it does, a rainbow breeze shoots out of it. And as it goes across the 6 druids, you watch as it it almost melts him into this kind of primordial goo. And what's left behind is this pile of goop with more than 2 eyes and more than 1 mouth. And it is just this aberration of pooled flesh, mouths, and eyeballs, screaming in horror.
Oh,
Would you say it's gibbering?
It might be gibbering, and it might have some mouths.
It might be speaking chaotically.
Might be speaking
My-
chaotically.
sheltered cleric would just see this as like a horror show, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. And she says, "Now, that's not to say that to touch the winds is death." And then the image shifts, and it shows on on kind of the edge. You coming up to the city, there were ledges fairly similar to the ones that you were standing on talking with Keyleth that that look similar on the pathway up the mountainside, up Mount Zephyra, and there's there looks to be like um, a halfling um, a halfling woman who is in the process of doing what looks to be like a martial arts form. She's up there practicing and doing the various moves of her dance. And as she's doing it, and she kind of hits a stance, she looks up, and just as she looks up, you watch as rainbow winds continuing down the side of the mountain cascade over her, and she just stands there. And as she does, the winds kind of blow her off the ledge, and she just goes whee off into free fall. And once the winds are gone, she's still standing there, almost kind of wily e. coyote style, getting ready to hold the sign saying "Mother," and then falling, but she doesn't fall, and she's standing there, takes a beat, and out from her back spread rainbow colored energy wings, and she takes flight and flies back to the ledge, steps down, and then the wings fold up, cross across her back, and you can see where they burst out of the back of her robes. On her back are tattooed a kind of gradient colored set of wings on her back. And she kind of looks over her shoulder to try and see what happened, and shrugs it off and starts to walk back towards Zephyr. So she says, if one gets exposed to the rainbow winds, it could be good, it could be bad. All I can tell you is that it came from when the portal had a conjunction. It crossed over into some chaotic plane, and it spit out the chaotic energy in the form of a rainbow wind.
It's still active?
It happens in bursts. We are not sure what is causing it, but we've increased our guardians up there, and we've added some of our military as well as some of the druids. So I can tell you that if you encounter the rainbow winds, it brings chaos with it. It isn't evil, it isn't good. It is chaos. Plain and simple. And as such, who knows what ill it might cause or what good it might foster. I'm willing to bet that that young monk that was doing her forms out on the ledge there believes it was a blessing. My druid that got turned into a pool of meat, probably not so much.
I agree.
And this just happens randomly. There's no set time.
We have yet to find a pattern to it. And I knew when you were approaching, if I have not been able to hear the pattern on the winds themselves, I'm willing to bet there's probably no pattern. We haven't even figured out what realm it comes from. We have to catch it as it's happening and have the right senses in operation to determine
Is
where.
there a way that you can tell me what effect that it had on me when I encountered it?
You think it had an ill effect on you?
I haven't been sleeping well. I've been falling down a lot. Just
She takes a look at you. Well, that's unusual. Oren,
yeah.
what do you see? And so Oren will come up to you. And he casts a spell that you all realize is detect magic. And he looks you over and says, "Well, she's not suffering from any disease, any poison.
Maybe
What
it's
were I
just
to guess?
stress.
I don't think so. I think you might be cursed." And she looks at him and goes, "Well done. He's right. You bear the mark of a curse."
Oh my gosh, can you remove a curse?
Oh, of course.
Really?
I'm an archdruid. I'm not going to say we're practically gods because that one bit me in the ass. I'm going to be honest. That is a critter in joke right there.
B admires the goldfish sitting in the bowl next to the.
Oh yes, she has definitely got a goldfish in a place of honor in this room. And she says, "But yes, I think I can remove a curse." And so she says, "Is this your wish? Is to have this curse removed from you?"
I wouldn't say wish.
I mean, it's the curse.
I mean, it is quite a nuisance.
I bet it is.
I don't know what you're asking me to exchange the removal for.
I am just asking for your consent to cast a spell on you.
Oh, yeah.
Very well. And she takes out from a small pouch a bit of a type of poultice. It looks like a bunch of herbs put into a little bit of like sap, and she takes it and puts one on your forehead, one on the back of your hand, and then she puts one on the back of your shoulder. Ginger, you want an elevator ride? She has to hear it from me. All right. So, and so she puts, like I said, the one on the forehead, one on the back of the hand, and one on the back of your shoulder. And where she puts it, it kind of warms up. You feel a heat from it, and she starts to do an incantation in a language that I'm pretty sure none of you speak. Um, and as she does, you feel the heat kind of rise up on those three spots. Not painfully, but just a little uncomfortably, kind of like getting hot stone massage. And and
Feels nice.
after a little bit, you just feel almost like a pop of pressure release, but inside of you. Not quite in your heart, because trust me, you don't want to feel that pop. But just below, almost like in your diaphragm, you feel a tension release, and almost a warm flooding feeling goes out across you.
Wow.
And she says,
Oh,
"That should take care of that." She's like,
yeah.
"The spots will remain for maybe 2 days, but
Like a crab can get in a hot pot and it like doesn't know the pot's hot until it's too hot.
yeah,
That's how that was. I didn't know how tight I was until it was not there anymore.
yeah, that should take care of you, though.
Could
Consider it
you
a gift of
teach me
friendship."
that?
I could potentially teach you that. Can you speak primordial?
I can as of level 4.
Why?
Yeah, I
Let
just
me tell you.
learned that. Just hooked on phonics. I just learned that.
I
Hooked
got
on primordial.
I've got Babel on my phone here, and so I just on my sending
Hooked on
stone.
elements.
My
Hook-
Duolingo. I just learned that.
So, she says, "Well, you can consider that a bit of a gift, and I'd be happy to try and teach it to you. Are you a druid as well?
No, I'm a ranger.
A ranger? Oh, so one of the military. Ah, well, let's see here.
More like your friendly neighborhood scouting club.
Ah, well, that's fine. My sister-in-law's a ranger. I'm familiar. Maybe one day you'll meet her. Unfortunately, you are never going to be able to cast that spell. She'll teach it to you, but you're never going to be able to cast it. Well, I shouldn't say that. Unless you take cleric, paladin, warlock, or wizard, you are not going to be able to cast that spell. Remove curses, in fact, for those 4 classes. But she does offer to teach it to you. She said the ritual is in primordial. It She says a lot of the spells that the Ashari teach are done in primordial to not only protect their secrecy, but also to help instill proper conjugation of verbs to young druids. So grammar is much more important than primordial, apparently.
Language is important everywhere, I think.
It is. But if you get the grammar wrong in primordial, forget about it. In fact, just the term forget about it pretty much breaks 3 rules in primordial. But
Yeah, that's celebrate. That's celebrate.
Exactly. So, I can tell you is if you are interested in learning more about these winds, I can only get so much information off of what spouts from there when it does spout from there. If you can take on tracking down and researching these winds that have already escaped the mountain and have found their way out into Exandria as a whole, that would help. Because right now we're just being reactionary.
So the winds that escape, like they escape and wreak havoc, they don't just dissipate.
I don't know. That's the problem. I can tell you that they've made their way off the mountainside, and I have heard further out from the mountains that there have been some instances. There is a small village to the north, towards the center of Tal'Dorei. Um,
Did the winds only go one direction, or did they go every direction around the mountains?
Generally, when a wind gets expunged from the portal, it goes one way. But there hasn't been just one expulsion of wind. There have been 4.
When they hit something, do they stop or do they continue on?
They wash over and continue on, much like the wind normally does. There's very little thing that will fully stop a wind.
The 4 that have been expulsed, I can't conjugate.
Let me teach you primordial.
Kicked out. Did they go one direction, or did they go
3
random?
directions.
Okay.
One flew to the east. You're willing to bet the eastern one is the one that hit you because it was flowing east when you found it. One
Is
flew
that
east,
the one
2 flew
that
south.
most recently?
No, the one that to the north is the most recent one to fly out. It came, I want to say, about a day and a half after the eastern wind.
So one to the east, one went to the east, and that's the one that hit us. 2 went to the south, and 1 went to the north.
Correct.
Total of 4.
They went at different angles to the south, but so they didn't go the exact same path. But yes, they went to the south.
Which one was the one that gave the rainbow wings? And which one was the one that turned that guy into soup?
The same one.
It was the same one.
The first one.
Which one of those was it? Was it the south
That was the
one or-
first one. The first one went to the south. The first 2 actually went to the south. They just went at different angles. One went dangerously close to Stilben, and one went almost directly south.
So I guess
Oh,
that's
boy.
probably a bad time to say that we were actually hoping for some help defeating a hag, but
Oh no,
Yeah,
it's
there's a goblin city just below you, or a goblin town just below you that wants recognition and they want to be your friends.
she says, "I am so sorry," and then she introduces herself to the goblin that's been traveling along with you. He
Dang!
Our
So-
guide, Ethor or whatever.
Aethor.
Aethor steps out from behind Mavis, and you notice he's been hiding this entire time. Nobody's seen him. And when he steps out, she's like, "Yes, Aethor, it's a pleasure to meet you. You are safe here. You are a guest, as you all are." He's like, "Cool." I was a little scared. Sorry. She's like, "I understand. You've come here in good faith. And for that, you are accepted as a guest." She looks at you all and says, "If this goblin city wants recognition, I'll send down an emissary to speak
They're
with
looking
them."
to be more part of society instead of scavengers and things that live off of others. They want to participate.
And they're your
They're right.
neighbors, technically.
They are our neighbors. I have not myself gone to Jorhas, but I have heard of such cities, kingdoms, and they have lived in peace for the most part. So I'll look into that. I think something can be arranged, don't you, Oren? He looks at her and says, I'm going to go talk to them, aren't I?" And she's like, "I can't very well go now, can I?"
Sorry, Oren.
Oren's like, "Are you kidding? A chance to get off the mountain? I don't get to travel much.
Oh,
Granted, I'm
there's
not
lots of
traveling very far, but still.
listen, gnolls and hyenas down there, so just be a little careful.
Good to know. Good to know.
What
So
were you
Hyenas,
saying,
I'm not
Ed?
so worried about. I can fly.
we're also looking for help, possibly with
Oh, the hag.
the hag. But you know what? I guess we're gonna go investigate winds now. I think.
Well,
Mavis, help us.
they are not mutually exclusive. I can tell you from my days as an adventurer. Sometimes things overlap. What kind of aid were you looking for with this hag, and where are we talking about?
He's in the lake. Is it a lake or is it called ocean?
Think
Oh,
it's
it's a lake.
bay. Is it a lake? It's a
Yeah.
lake.
No, it's a lake. Oh
And
wait,
it's outside Drenna. What was the? I'm sorry. What was the bay called? The Bay of
Mirren.
Aaron. That's what
What?
it was.
Let's see. Do.
Gee, if only we had a map.
She came
Only
and
we had a map.
you know,
If only we had a
usurped
map showing it.
the lake and the island
What's a
from the
map?
previous inhabitants. And the previous inhabitants, one of the descendants would sort of like to return home.
I bet they would. Oh, good lord. Why am I looking at this thing? You're right. I've got a map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. All right. Lucidian Coast. Front and center. All right. So if you look here, Morin. Not Mirren. Morin. Mirren is an actress. Morin Lake connects Drinna. The ocean doesn't come until you go across Root Garden Marsh, or take Morin River Run down to the bay. So you're kind of on a delta that empties into the lake with Drinna, but not actually on the bay in the ocean itself. It is still fresh water. So
We give a vague description slash, here we go. This is about where it is, and this is what we're doing, and we actually came to ask for help, but
well, we'll have to see what we can do. I don't have much aid that I can give because we do have to worry about the portal. That is our charge. If you've not studied much about Zephyra and the Ashari, but we are charged with watching over these rifts in Exandria that go to the elemental planes. This one goes to the elemental plane of air, obviously. So, but I do have some members of our society that would probably be willing to aid you to help out. They wouldn't necessarily want to step on the toes of your ranger, but at the same time, many hands make for light work.
and in exchange, we would happily, possibly investigate your portal problem.
Well, that would be
Keep an eye out. Send word back.
most helpful.
I mean, I'm not sure how you fight the wind, but we could at least tell you where it's at.
Well,
We get these jackets and they break up the wind.
Oh, I've heard of those. I heard they're
Cast
members
them
only,
on.
though.
Yeah, you cast a spell on them. We're protected.
oh God. Anyways,
I think you can then break like the wind.
I have heard this.
I'm not going to talk about this party breaking wind. Thank you very much. We already had the unicorn farts episode. We are not going to have the.
Maybe we could jam it.
Anyways, so she says, "Well, Give me some time to ask around. And Orin goes, and she means for me to ask around, for him to ask around.
Well,
Eh,
Orin, since you're going down to the village anyway, you could just continue on and come with us to the lake, if you want to.
Well, at the very least, I wouldn't mind an escort to the settlement. It might be easier to find than if I'm just stumbling around the mountains on my own looking for it.
Aethor's a great guide, right, Aethor?
Aether's like, suppose I could take you down. I
You
was,
got us here. You can get us back.
I can
Hey,
get you
you're
back.
going home anyway, so.
There and back.
He was actually thinking about accompanying you all to the lake.
Okay.
So, but if you want him to guide Orin to the village, he will do that
We have
too.
to go. We have to go back there anyway, right? On the way down.
At the very least, nearby it, yes, if not
Yeah.
directly
So
towards it.
we can do both.
You can.
Why not both?
Why not both? Both is good. Yeah. So
So do we need to? This is player to DM. Do we need to go up to the portal and see anything there, or can we just?
not really. They're monitoring that. They're observing that.
I mean, she just literally showed us a video, but we don't actually have to go up there. And
Correct. In fact, it's almost kind of taboo for non-Ashari to go up there. Only in times of great need have outsiders been allowed near the portals.
so we were shown the video. We were shown what the winds look like and where they went, given
Yep.
vague directions.
You were told that the last one that flew out to the north, and it had a devastating effect on one of the villages to the extent that she believes that the village may have been wiped off the map because she has heard no whispers coming from that area.
Oh, it's so sad.
So
Would she like us to investigate that?
that could be a path by which to go. Yes, it seems to be the most overt reaction that has happened because of the winds. So, if you wish to do that, she says that would probably be a great place to start.
You were saying something about there was only one way to lock a portal, get in the way of the. You were just about to say something about the only thing you could do was.
So, the only thing that we can do is observe it when it's happening. We can't
Okay.
observe it once it's happened. And all we're doing is we're reacting to it once it's happened. If we don't take a more active role in tracking down the effects of these winds, learning more about how far they go, how long they go for, and what happens to them once they hopefully reach the end of their life cycle, then we only have a bit to go on. We're just going to be reacting. Also, if you wind up encountering them more directly, there's a chance that you can maybe find out more information about the nature of them, where they come from, and how, more importantly, we can protect ourselves against them. Now, I'm not saying that dealing with this report of a hag in the Lake Morin and returning it to the people that once possessed it as their hometown or their homestead is not important, but I think that these winds could pose a threat to Exandria as a whole, not just any one lake. So I will leave that choice up to you. As I said, I'm familiar with the life of an adventurer. So I do, before you leave, have a bit of a gift
Ooh,
for
now we
you,
brought you a
especially.
basket.
And she looks at B. She kind of reaches up, and on one of her braids, she's got several stones, beads that have been braided into that little braid that hangs down. And she kind of tugs on one, and it you almost see it release from the braid without disrupting the braid at all. But when you look at it, it looks like a full stone, and it is shaped into what looks to be like a binding of 3 leaves. And she hands it to you. She says, "This is an item with a specific purpose and a specific uh, ability. It allows you to contact the person who possesses the other stone." And she kind of turns over the braid, and you see what looks to be like an identical stone that is kind of almost turned into a bead on her braid. This will allow you to have contact with me from virtually anywhere in Exandria. So wherever you go, if you need my advice, if you need my aid, or if you need to report something to me, you can do so. And if at any point in time you have any questions about the Raven Queen, our bird friends, or that blade on your hip, you can call me. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. If Vex were here, he would want me to do that.
B will take the stone and put it in a pouch near the dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Do my best not to bother you with inconsequential stuff.
Bother me with whatever you want, because so few people talk to me these days. They're all afraid to talk to me.
Question for the DM: is this a once a day type thing, or
No,
how
it is a
often?
sending stone.
Okay, so I can just use it.
Yep.
There's no charges or
No charges.
Okay, thank you.
It just goes straight to Keyleth and straight back to you.
Am I the only one who could hear it, or can the party hear?
You're the only one that will be able to hear it.
Okay, so I can just relay.
You
If
can
the
relay
party
things.
has questions for her, I can.
Exactly. There's going to be more mechanics involved in it. Like if somebody's like telepathically in contact with you, they're going to hear it too, because it establishes telepathic contact between you and her. Generally, people just say the stuff out loud because why
not?
Exactly. So, plus it's fun to watch somebody count down the words as you're. No, never mind. That's a different spell. So, for now, consider yourselves our guests. If you wish, you're more than welcome to stay at the inn. They will provide a room for you, free of charge, for the time in which you'll be here. I don't anticipate it will take long, but for that time, you will act as our guest. If you wish, I've got more than enough space here, and we can, in fact, I kind of have a full guest house. I used to keep it in case my friends ever came to visit me, and occasionally they do, but they've got lives of their own. Yeah, from once in a while, my sister-in-law will show up with her children, so they use it, but they're not here
He
now.
will happily stay here in the guest house or in the tree. He likes trees.
The guest house is part of the tree, but yeah. She offers you a spot to sleep, and You are the guest of the Windspeaker of the Arashari for at least a day, maybe two. And your your goblin friend there is ecstatic. It looks like he was he was his butt was puckering for the entire time until she allowed him to
And we
be named
outed
a
him.
guest until you outed him. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, this is great news. Yeah, they're gonna love this. Uh, if if the Ashari validate us, well then, Stilben and Drin will have to. That's great. Y'all have been great friends to us. Wow." He's like,
Want to go kill a hag?
kind of do. I ain't gonna lie. I
Still had that on the to-do list.
I like that. I like walking the trails and a reason to get off the mountain and not have to be looking over my shoulder all the time. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just bound to be an adventurer. Who knows? Who knows? I've heard of goblin adventurers. I could be one of them, don't you think? And
Absolutely.
he does not sleep that night. He is
Too excited.
too excited. Too excited. He sees the dawn, and he's like, "I found this new thing. It's called coffee. It's amazing." So, anyways,
Daisy, did you introduce the gnome to coffee?
she may have
was okay.
unwittingly caused a caffeine addict.
Fresh. It was
Pour
very
three of them in there.
good.
It's an espresso.
It was quite a good quality. So I had to say something.
Jaffa, 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 Jaffa.
We now have a goblin coffee hound.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that like, at least 1/3 of Seattle? So within the next day, towards mid-afternoon, Oren appears and says, I've got two friends here for you. They're willing to help you out, and they're willing to help report back to us. And in the steps, what appears to be a Goliath who he's not wearing a lot of armor, but he's kind of bristling with weapons. There's just kind of weapon hilts all over the place. And he has what some might call a longbow, but what others might call a ballista. It is the biggest longbow you have ever seen. And it looks like B couldn't even pull it back. It is that big and taunt of a bow. And then the other person looks to be like a tiefling. But a tiefling of an unusual look to them. They have almost human colored eyes. The closer you look at them, the closer you can see a red tinge to the pupils. A kind of a coppery colored skin, like you might see on like a Southern Italian or something like that. A kind of a deep ruddy skin, but still within the human spectrum, and just tiny horns coming off of the forehead. The hair is reddish brown, fairly similar to the color of Keelat's hair, and it appears that they are more Ashari than anything else. They've got the same types of totems that you've seen the other druids wearing, so she looks to be like a tiefling druid. She says, or he says, uh, Rock here. I know it's a little spot on, but it's what he tells us to call him. The Rock here. He's one of our Ranger Brigade, um, and the toughest son of a bitch apparently we have seen here in a long time. So he'll travel with you. Promises to keep you safe. If you decide to go after investigating these winds, he'll aid you in that as well. And Kira here, she's looking to start her Aramente, and so this sounds like a good first spot. It is against a hag, which is why we're sending the Rock with her. The Rock's going to keep her safe. His secondary duty is to keep her alive.
How tall is Rock? I mean, compared to Mavis,
Rock
who
is
7'2".
about the same size as Mavis, maybe a couple inches taller.
So another place for me to hide. Thank you.
Yep. Goliaths look like they are part of the mountain, where the furbolgs are part of the Fae. So, no hair, lots of tattoos, especially around the head and face. Dark gray skin. So, looks like he is literally sculpted out of stone.
So
Bonus action hide.
if that person, the tiefling, says they mentioned the Aramente,
Mm-hmm.
do we know anything about the Ashari culture and if that means this person's related to Keela?
You can go ahead and give me a history check.
Okay.
22. Well, a damn fine thing. So yes, you've heard of the Armente. It is not a secret Illuminati kind of ritual. It is their Rumspringer, their coming of age ritual where they have travel out, and they have got to gain the blessing of each of the other elements amongst the Ashari. So Keyleth, as a Air Ashari, had to go to the Earth Ashari, Fire Ashari, and Water Ashari and get their approval. Only then could they return as a Wind Speaker. In this case, that was because she was the only child of the existing Wind Speaker of the Air Ashari. For Kira here, probably not. It's tough to say. With that good of a history check, you know that Keyleth has no children. She is a half elf, so that's not necessarily like, oh, she hasn't had children, so it's never going to be a thing. There will never be anybody of her bloodline to continue to lead the Arashari. Historically, because of her past with her husband and him dying before they could even actually get married, she's likely never to have any family other than her father and her mother. And so
There's still time. She might meet someone.
it sounds like she doesn't want to.
I mean, that's also fair.
It's like she's decided that she is going to wait to be reunited with Vex.
Fair.
So, also because that is what the Raven Queen has promised her. So, is it possible that Kira may one day lead the Arashari? Maybe. But is she related to Keyleth? Not really. She's part of the same clan, but she's not of her bloodline. It's a fine question, though. She's that is not the only tiefling that has been associated to Vox Machina. with that good of a roll, you do know that one of the members of Vox Machina did have a tiefling child, and that would be her sister-in-law, Vexalia. One of the kids, in fact, the youngest child of the Derolo family, is a tiefling. And she is quite a hellraiser, too. Pun incredibly intended. So, but they live up in Whitestone. You know, the location for Tal'Dorei North. So, otherwise known as the Dungeon Dogs. So,
Look, we're strangers with candy.
exactly. I think that's now the new team name, Strangers with Candy.
Oh, come on. What about the Pop Tarts? The charcuterie board of doom.
I like
Picnic
picnic basket.
Consortium.
I like the picnic basket. Was it Picnic Society?
It was the Society
I like
for
Picnic Society.
something. It sounded very classy.
Well,
It was.
It's
see,
in-
and that's
Picnic
clearly
Society.
why it shouldn't be this group. It sounded really
It
classy.
was the Picnic Society.
Well, we'll have to have a vote. I mean, Strangers
Yeah.
with Candy is very niche.
It is. It is.
But given that
I see Ruth got
Bee
my
and-
pop culture reference.
say Bee and Daisy and I think it's just Bee and Daisy are the candy people.
True. True.
It's just so sad. The
I
movie's
do
so
love
sad.
candy.
So, anyways, all right. You've got two of the Ashari on your side. If you wish, you've got a Goblin Scout on your side. Who knows? You might have some more Goblin folk on your side when you make your way back down. And you've got more information about the Rainbow Winds. That they are the spawn of a plane of chaotic magic and the elemental plane of air in conjunction.
And somehow we're supposed to break the wind.
And somehow you're supposed to break wind. You need to find out
jam it.
how to break wind.
Or jam it. We could jam it. Maybe we should be the windbreakers. There's only
There was
We
no
haven't broken any
generation
wind yet, so
Not
more
yet.
dedicated to not getting winded.
The Company of the Broken Wind. I like it.
I'm still voting for Picnic Society.
I like Picnic Society myself. Yeah, we're always bringing picnic baskets and charcuterie boards and
Nope,
candy.
nope. We're not doing any picnic stuff. Sorry, I'm gonna veto.
Why?
Like for real.
Oh,
I'm
we
gonna
can
use
veto
my
things, then I'll
personal-
veto the windbreakers.
Pop Tarts it is.
I still like Strangers with Candy.
Oh,
The
But
white
not all
panel
of us
van.
have candy.
the white panel van.
Do you like some candy, little boy?
Oh, good lord.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll workshop
lots
it.
of ideas.
We'll workshop it. Yeah.
Around.
We'll brainstorm it.
Brainstorm. There you go, the brainstorm. Anyways. So, on your trip down, you go down the hill, down the mountain. And on the trip down, you find the mountain that you're coming off of is quiet. And it is calm, peaceful. No sign of gnolls. No sign of ogres, giants, any of the things that you would come to expect. And since B is the most nervous one in the party at this point, let's have B.
Hey, you said my anxiety dissipated. You said that.
Yes, you're still the most nervous out of all of all.
That is
all
true.
of them.
I'm a cat.
So give me a percentile roll.
What's it gonna be?
Do you want that in Roll20 or from D&D Beyond?
Roll 20s. Well, you can do it to both basically if you do the thing. 7.
Huh.
A
Low.
7. That is damn
Look,
near
you
a
asked me
divine
to roll.
intervention right there.
Nothing
So-
happens,
I'm
right?
gonna roll under 10. We know this.
uh-huh. Uh-huh. So,
Out of 100, I'm gonna get under 10.
cool. You all hear the first sounds of almost like a booming sound, like thunder rolling.
Rock, did you fart?
And as you start to hear it and you turn around to blame Rock, you watch as it looks like almost 3 different paths of rainbow wind come off of the peak of Zephyr
Crap.
and come down the mountainsides. This one coming directly towards you.
Can we duck? Can we take cover?
You certainly can, so I need everybody to go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw. 18 isn't bad, Adelaide. 20 is not bad, Stacy. Arabella, not bad. There it is.
Terrible.
Ah.
There it is. Knew it was coming.
It's gonna be good. You're not gonna be a goo. It's gonna be fine.
So,
Now what do I roll?
you watch nothing.
Okay.
You watch as the winds cascade down. You all take cover. Mavis goes, huh? And it smacks directly onto her. And for a second, it's almost like you see 2 of Mavis. Physical Mavis and rainbow glittery Mavis goes out from Mavis, physical Mavis. Hangs for a second and goes back into Mavis. And when glitter Mavis goes back into physical Mavis, you watch as Mavis almost buckles in half like she was yanked by a huge rope and falls down to the ground. She gets back up. She is breathing. She is stunned. She doesn't seem to be talking a lot. She's got a very glassy-eyed look in her face, on her face. And Mavis, since you have access to your character sheet and I don't,
Yes.
you have what color eyes?
Just a second. I had amber eyes.
You had amber eyes. Your eyes have now become a very bright shade of purple.
Like Elizabeth Taylor.
So I've got light purple skin and what color?
Like a darker purple, like almost amethyst. Trust me, it's in your color wheel. I'm just saying.
Hey.
B will dig the sending stone out of her pouch and just kind of hold it up to her ear and frantically explain exactly what just happened to Keyleth. What it did, and ask her what happened up there.
Do I feel anything else besides a new eye color?
Not yet.
Okay.
Mm.
The response that you get is that that is the strongest reaction we have ever seen come out of the portal. 3 different winds split in different directions. It looks like the southeastern one is the one that hit you. We have one that went north west, and we have one that went northeast. It
So now
is
there is a total of 7 out.
looks like 7 have escaped out. Yes. I can tell you this much. There is a plane that is of pure chaotic energy. I don't know if it is anything like a primordial plane or not, but one of the druids was blinded by it. As she was observing it through a very powerful magic to allow her to see the truest nature of everything, it left her eyes damaged. We've got one of our healers working on trying to repair it now. But
People ask if she gave in detail what happened to Mavis, what she saw, the glitter and the splitting. Is there anything that Keyleth can tell about what may have happened and how we can help Mavis?
keep an eye on her. Figure out what effect it may have had. It sounds like the wind blew her soul out of her body
We
and
will
fused
relay
with
all
her.
this to Arabella.
Oh, I'll do like a little medicine check and be
Sure.
like,
Her
follow
soul
my
left her body.
finger.
So it appears that that Mavis is in shock.
Oh, I bundle her up.
Okay.
So that's what you're supposed to do. And
We will give her a piece of candy. Here, eat this, you'll feel better.
what else can I do?
The rock starts scouting out spots to kind of make a camp because he sees the look on Mavis's face and figures out that you all aren't going anywhere for the rest of the evening, and so starts to make a camp.
So is Mavis inside of her body
Yes.
and able to do anything?
Mavis is inside of her body, but is literally in shock right now, so can't really feel. You're not feeling a whole lot, and you're kind of stunned. You can walk around, you can eat, drink, all that, but your mind isn't connecting up to your mouth like you would like it to. Let's just put it that way.
Mavis turns invisible.
Okay.
Do we
And
still see the
Misty,
blankets?
Misty steps away
All right.
somewhere where she can hide her 7'4" frame because
Okay.
she doesn't know what the hell is going on.
All right. You turn invisible. Misty step 30 feet away. Everybody sees you. Because the Misty step breaks your invisibility. But,
Nope, it does not because it's hidden step. It's not invisibility.
but doesn't hidden step still say if you attack or cast a spell that it
No, attack or make a damage roll or
damage?
forced to make a saving throw.
Okay. All right. Still only lasts for a turn, but
Yes,
yeah,
but
you're
that's why she moves somewhere where
you're able to get at least some privacy. You can't get too far away, but you gain at least a little bit of privacy, and the quick succession of 2 magical effects, or a magical effect and a spell. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. Oof. That takes the wind completely out of your sails. You misty step away, turn invisible, and once you get to move, you kind of collapse on the ground.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh. Do we see any of it or do we just hear a thud?
Now you might hear a thud, but you don't necessarily see any of it. You go looking around, and between the what, five, seven, eight of you, between the eight of you, you're able to kind of find where she is, and she is passed out underneath some foliage, trying to gain a little bit of privacy. Your guess is, she is breathing, but she definitely has a blanched look to her face now.
Would a healing word be helpful? Do I want to do a religion check? Hmm.
She does not look like she's taken any damage. She just looks like she's maybe suffering from a level or three of exhaustion at the
Oh,
most. But she looks like she's ill, but she does
oh
not
dear.
seem to have a disease. Again, it relates to
Um,
probably she's in shock and she tried to exert herself in doing so.
so
We will help
we should.
Rock find a place to make camp because
Oh
we're
yeah,
gonna have
he's
to.
already found a place and he's
we-
set up a camp, and he's set up, even though the time of the year it's very warm, he set up a fire,
It's probably
figuring
a good idea.
she needs to get warmed up because uh, she's probably losing a lot of heat right now.
I will help hoist her from the ground and over to our campsite if anybody wants to assist.
Rock
Daisy!
Rock
Daisy!
looks at you and says, "Don't worry," and leans
Stacy will
over.
assist.
Yep, picks her up, and if let Stacy help out with stuff, or to kind of keep her balanced. So Rock is
Stacy's strength is only a 17, so I don't know how much she
I
can
don't
do.
know if you can help.
it's not so much the strength; it's the fact that she's 7'4" and you're an elf, so a little bit unwieldy. But luckily, Rock is about the same size as Mavis, actually a little bit bigger, so he's able to pick her up. All right. So,
Well, once we move her, I put some blankets on her and continue to do medicine
hmm.
checks.
So, needless to say, Mavis, you're
I'm
in.
gonna
Hmm.
I'm gonna make a poultice and try to perform the remove curse thing I just learned.
Yeah. So,
Hmm
Mavis, you're not taking a watch tonight, and you wake up with a sticky forehead because some sap has been like rubbed onto your forehead.
Okay.
Strangely in the shape of a little bunny foot. um,
Wonder how that
I
happened.
wonder how that happened.
Yeah, B will do the cat thing and lay on top of Mavis and purr really loud. Try and
Oh,
you know how the cats do
that's
that when you're not
gonna
feeling
be
good.
super nice.
So,
So she has purring power.
yep.
I did roll a natural 20 medicine check. Just
Nice.
FYI. For a
Uh,
total of 23.
So that did cause Mavis to wake up and go, "What the fuck is this shit on my face?" um, but yeah, so uh, Mavis, you feel weird. You do wake up in the middle of the night. You've had about probably 6 hours of rest, but not really good sleep. Um, but you wake up enough that you have some of the food that was made for you. Um, have a drink, and just sit up and look at the stars. For whatever reason, that seems like the thing to do. Um, seems like the interesting thing to do that holds your
Okay.
attention the most. You do that for about an hour, maybe two, and then fall back to sleep. Um, After that, you actually go into a deep sleep, and when you wake up in the morning, you feel amazing. You actually feel better than you felt in probably several months. You've probably gotten about 12 to 16 hours of sleep, and and yeah,
Power of the purr, baby.
everybody else, um, nothing nothing was moving. There was no bugs. There were no birds. There was no small rodents. Nothing was moving on this mountainside for the entire evening. It is the most boring watch you've ever taken in your life. So, you are maybe halfway down the mountain because you didn't get too far before this had happened. So, um,
Are my eyes still purple?
they are.
Anything else feel different now that I'm able to take inventory of myself?
Nothing feels physically different, although um, it does seem like your eyesight is a little bit sharper.
Ooh.
You're not.
When I was up looking at the stars, did I have dark vision that I didn't have before?
Well, that's an interesting thought. Give me a wisdom check.
I was wondering the same thing.
Wisdom, just a straight up wisdom roll?
Straight up wisdom roll.
When you lose your soul, you should probably get something in return for that.
Night vision, totally an equal exchange.
You've got dark vision.
Good.
Woo!
I forgot how to add that in.
I'll send you some. I'll send you some instructions.
Okay, I think I can do it. I'm going to see. Oh, I know what I got to do.
Hold on a second. Let's see here.
Racial.
Hold on. Incoming message.
Okay. I'm going to get my crazy stuff back again.
So during this whole time where she's resting for 12 to 16 hours, are we just all sitting there watching the whole time?
I mean, I figure
Pretty
I've
much.
been doing medicine checks, so like we're all very concerned.
It's hard to move around.
You've got a
So
direct
just-
message with
In
how to
Zoom
do it.
or in Discord?
Discord.
Okay.
There's no way. Oh yeah, there is a way for me to do whispered in Zoom, isn't there?
Okay, I got it here.
Yep. So
Oh,
your dark vision goes out to 120 feet.
okay.
So
Interesting. Do I know it does other words or ability to communicate come with that?
no.
Okay.
Nope.
And I got to figure out how to add that in.
Okay, so how is Mavis feeling now? Are you feeling like
Oh, she woke up feeling great.
okay?
All
So
the
you can
bumps and
talk
bruises.
and walk and. Are you you? Are you back to normal?
Who else would I be?
Well, there was a glittery you. I don't know if that was you or not.
Did I feel my brief separation, Joe?
Oh yeah.
Near-death experience.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the light?
Don't go to the light, Mavis.
I saw something.
Well, I talked to Keyleth, and she said your soul left your body. Technically, you died.
I think that means astral projection, not necessarily death.
Well, I just know when your soul leaves your body, you're dead.
Not always.
And I'm supposed to make sure dead
Sometimes.
things stay that way. So are you a zombie now?
Kira steps up and she's like, "Actually, I've read about this in my tomes. There's druids and even wizards of fairly significant power that can cause their spirit to leave and go to a different plane for short periods of time. The danger being is if they get lost there, they get lost for eternity and their body dies. But they can do it safely, and they're not dead while they're well separated. They're just visiting.
Mostly dead is slightly alive.
Yes.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. That was great, you guys. Come on. That.
Indeed.
You all lose a geek point.
No.
Where does it?
Hey, I only one of you got the Encino Man deep dive, so that's right, Ruth.
Encino Man?
Oh no, that was George of the Jungle. Yeah, you're right.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
that was
was
George of the Jungle.
Oh, I do lose a geek point.
Yeah.
I lose a Brendan
How
Fraser
dare you
point.
not know your Brendan Fraser movies?
I know all my Brendan Fraser movies.
So Mavis looks like she always did, except for now her eyes are different.
Her eyes are a dark purple, as opposed to an amber.
You have very pretty eyes. I mean, you had pretty eyes, but now they're even prettier.
She pulls out a mirror to look.
They match your skin really well.
They do. Okay, where am I going? There. Let's see if I can bring it.
Does Mavis let us know she can now see God? I mean, she saw
What if
colors.
God was one of us?
Colors, man.
The colors, man. The colors. You know what? I think I just literally mashed up two entirely different Marisha Ray characters into one reference there. Anyway, because there was the time when Bo saw with True Sight, and it was like it was Fear and Loathing in Exandria. Anyway, so with that, we are sitting at 9:45. So let's do this. Since we know we're not going to be playing in 2 weeks because I will be in the middle of an ocean, but we are going to do a New Year's Eve stream. What direction do you want to go from the Goblin settlement? Do you want to go straight into the lake to investigate the lake, or do you want to go to the town to the north that was apparently the most significantly altered by the winds?
Ooh, good question.
I mean, I think we should wrap up this lake thing.
I was gonna say we have Rock with us now. I think we're Rock and Kira, and
Take a rock into the water.
We'll throw a rock at the water.
Throw a rock at the water.
And since we're going down to the Goblin settlement, you said a couple more people might join us.
Orin is going with you down to the Goblin settlement to initiate those. Once you get to the Goblin settlement, it's entirely possible that there might be a couple more goblins that might join your little soiree.
So Aethor is going to join us, and a couple more.
Aethor will definitely join you. If you'll have him, Aethor will join you.
So then we should at least have enough to potentially take on this hag and her minions. Then we can go investigate the village.
And
Yeah,
Joe,
use the town on the
I
way
got
to
it
the
added.
lake.
Cool. What was that, Emily?
Is the town on the way to the lake?
The town is pretty much on the way to the lake, yes. There's you can either go straight down the mountain and into the swamp, or you can go across the foothills of the mountain to where the settlement is, and then take that to the plains near the lake.
You meant the Goblin village, right, Emily? Not the devastated town.
No, I mean the devastated town.
Oh no,
The
it's
devastated town is
other direction. It's on the north side, past the mountains.
Oh, never mind.
Yep. All
So
right.
yeah, my vote is Goblin Village. Deal with the lake.
All right. So you've got Aethor, the Goblin Scout, the Rock, the Goliath Ranger, and you've got Kira, the Tiefling Druid, with you so far. And then,
And
in
the Blood Hunter's
theory,
supposed to help us at some point.
the Blood Hunter is the one that's going to lead your expedition out into the lake. And the more
We have to do something for the Blood Hunter to get her to work with us.
We already did that.
you already
Okay.
did that. That was
We can-
that
we
was
did
the
that.
returning with the trident from the Lizard Queen.
I thought we did. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. Nope. You did. You did. All right. Well, looks like we got a party, and I know what to prep, and depending on I'll send out some notes after this to kind of talk about what we can expect and what everybody's
I mean,
everybody's
if everybody's
schedules
on
are.
board with this, does everybody think this is okay to do, or?
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
I will send out some information about the game from a month from now. Well, roughly a month from now, when we hit the New Year's Eve, and yeah, we'll go we'll take it from there. So that will wrap things up for tonight. So for everybody that hung through another heavy role playing episode of dealing with some of the staple people located in the planet of Exandria. We appreciate you hanging out with us on a Sunday night, and from everybody here at Border Kingdoms Adventures and the TTRPG Geezer, namely this old bastard right here. Stay safe, stay healthy, roll some dice. Just don't do it on my lawn, you damn kids. All right, we'll catch you next time.
Good night.
Hi.
Bye.